Good day, guys. I'm pretty sure many of you have seen the video made by Dr. Umar Johnson, and the thing has stirred a lot of controversies. And this is why we need to make this video today to explain some things that other people are not seeing. My name is Magaji Ada Osekema. I'm a Nigerian. I'm introducing myself just to give you the background of where I came from. I was born into a Christian family before I transitioned into Islam, then Judaism, and then became an atheist, a radical one for that matter. The traces of all my journey are online. Before I am what I am today, a free thinker, that is what I refer to myself. I feel the need to give you my background of where I come from, my journey, because when I saw Dr. Umar Johnson, and I clapped my hand and I said, look, I wasn't the only one thinking like that. And I'm pretty sure he's not the only one thinking like that. I am pretty sure there are a lot of Muslims, black Muslims particularly, who are thinking towards same direction. What I noticed with the counter-rebuters of what I saw was how closed Islam is. And most of the people who tried to give reply to what he said actually proved his point. Islam is so closed that it doesn't permit debate. Someone has a concern and is voicing it that instead of the Ummah, the Muslim Ummah, to listen to what he's saying and find a solution to it. Instead, they pride themselves on, they think is a debate, is something that is fun. This is a genuine concern of the black communities in not just America, in Africa. And I will explain to you shortly why I say that. Now, there is a difference between Islamism and Arabism. And many people, many adherents of Islam do not understand the difference. Just as there is a difference between Christianity and Eurocentrism, Islam also, there is a difference between Islam as a spiritual system and Arabism as a culture on its own. And now it's so hard and it's so difficult to differentiate between these two. One of the concerns that Dr. Umar Johnson raised was about speaking Arabic in order to be a good Muslim. And most of the counter argument that I saw, we are saying that was the language of the prophet. Now, imagine if all Christians around the world decide to say they want to speak Aramaic, or Aramaic, the language, the original language that the scripture, the Bible was written, or the language that Jesus Christ was speaking. That is how you sound when you say you want to speak the language of the prophet. That is how, if Christians decided that they want to speak Aramaic today, or Hebrew, for example, that's how it sounds to all the other people. Now, this is a genuine concern, and I want us to look at it deeply. Now, I want to go and explain what these two philosophies mean. Now, Islam as a spiritual concept is quite peculiar. It's unlike other religions because Islam is not just a religion. Islam is a political system. It's a political system. It has military code. It has financial code. It has aesthetic code for hygiene for women. And it has even dressing code. Women are asked to wash themselves. Men are asked to wash their feet before the prayers. And it also has customary code about marriage. Islam has opinion about everything. It has an opinion about war, about marriage, about food to eat, about finance, about taxes, about loans. Islam has a code, a precedence, a tenet set for Muslims to follow these things. That is the structure. And that is what differentiates Islam from all the rest of the religion, because Islam has opinion about all these things. And that is why it is almost difficult. It is almost confrontational with the modern society, because most of the Muslims want to follow strict descriptions, strict guidance and principles laid down by the Quran, but sometimes it comes in contrast to the modern society that we live in, and that has always been the problem of the Muslim Ummah, and it's something that needs to look into whether it's going to evolve or it's going to remain like that. Okay, Arabism is something completely different, which is there's just a thin line between Arabism and Islamism. Very, very thin line. Now, Arabism is Arab culture, Arab music, Arab language, Arab aesthetics, and what? Arab names, for example. So, if you feel the need as a black person to change your name as an African person, to change your African name from Tayo or Adebayo to Mohammed or to Usman or to anything at all because you are an adherent of Islam, you are actually in essence adopting the Islamic culture, the Arabic culture. You are not in any way different. The same thing with Christians who change, the African Christians, black Christians who change their name from Sadelo to Matthew or to John. Or that they are not practicing Christianity, they are practicing what is called Eurocentrism, and that is what makes the difference. And many people do not understand the difference between these philosophies. So that is what Dr. Umar Johnson is trying to point out, that in the name of Islam, people actually adopted Arabism and they don't know. Arabism is Arabic music. When you listen to Arabic music, you dance like the Arabs, you dress like the Arabs and eat like the Arabs, and this fantasy, this fetishism about the Arabs and this superiority complex about the Arabs, which most Muslims around the world are suffering from. Most African Muslims, black Muslims, think that the Arabs are superior race. Even the Arabs themselves think that they are the superior race. They look down on other race, even though the Quran says the contrary, but they do the opposite. They resist superiority, cultural superiority complex that they have innately in them. This disdain that they look at other Muslims. And is a reality, is a debate, it's a tough debate that we have to face eventually someday. So in essence, there is a difference between Islamism, Islam as a religion, as a spiritual system, and Arabism as a cultural practice. If you want to, of course, practice this religion, you should know the difference. You should know your self-worth. You should not lose your self-esteem because you are a member. It is not necessarily your place to change your name. For example, from a Yoruba guy or a Hausa guy or an Igbo guy or a Zulu, a Xhosa or a Swahili person to change their name to Islamic name or to Arabic name. The same thing Christian, African, black Christians do is the same thing black Muslims do. And this practice is quite peculiar, but most of you might not understand it because now imagine a Japanese person being referred to with an African name. Imagine that. Or imagine a Japanese person adopting French names, or a Russian person adopting Jewish names, or Arabs adopting Jewish name, or Jews adopting Arabic name. Those names have identity. There is a history behind every name. So when you joined or you are there to the religion of Islam and you feel the need to change your name, you're no longer practicing Islam, you're practicing Arabism. And that is the point Dr. Umar Johnson was trying to make. And a lot of people misunderstood what he was saying. As a matter of fact, in my personal opinion, throughout my journey, I personally think Christianity is a European colonial structure, just as Islam is an Arabic colonial structure, because you don't have any reason as a black person to adhere to any of those religions. I've never seen any Arab person bearing African name. I've never seen any Japanese person bearing African name or Chinese person being called with Russian names or Arabic name. I've never seen that. The only time it's happened is only within the black community. We are the only people who have lost our identity to foreign identity, to European identity, to Arabic identity. And that is the point he was making. And many people did not understand what he was saying. So before you criticize him, this is our plight as black people, as African Americans around the world. Now, I know a lot of people will come with gaslight. They will try to quote the Quran to refute what I'm saying. But this is my point. This is what I understood by what he was saying. The difference between Islamism and Arabism. This is the difference. Once you know this difference, you will know what to apply. I'm not saying you should leave Islam because of this point. It should be something personal for you. It should be out of your own conviction. It should be something that you understood, because we went through all this journey, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. I'm pretty sure Dr. Umar Johnson is not the only one. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of Africans. Look, I'm telling you today, in my community in Nigeria, I have hundreds. As a matter of fact, a friend of mine is currently locked up in the prison. Mubarak, Hausa guy who left Islam, a Fulani guy who left Islam, and they locked him up. So there are a lot of people, blacks with questions about this religion. And the sooner Islam evolve with answers to these things, the better it will be. Now, when people are raising this concern and you just gaslight them and you think they are just being nationalists the way some other people said it, then we'll see how far it will go. We'll see how far it will go. Sharp.